Hi, welcome to another edition of Lake Cumberland Live. I'm Jeanette Marson, the Director of Tourism in Russell County for the Lake Cumberland Tourist Commission, and I am here in the little tiny town of Creelsboro, Kentucky, which is a part of Jamestown, Kentucky, and pretty much just about a ghost town as far as businesses, although I have one very prominent, wonderful businessman and doctor that has decided to save the old Creelsboro Country Store. Dr. Perkins, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for coming.
First of all, let's tell everybody a little bit about the history of this. It was called Polston's store, correct?
Yes, it originally was built in 1876, and then Mr. Polston ran it since, I think, actually the 30s. So they ran it most of the time, and that's what the people now know it as the Polston General Store.
And so it is set empty for a very long time, and you have decided to take it, and it looks like a lot of the original outside is still here. What are you trying to save, and how's that going?
Well, I'm trying to save all I can, but yes, I bought it pretty much just on a whim. In fact, my wife didn't even know I was bidding on it, so I had to face that at church the next morning. But I came in and I just loved it and wanted to save it. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it when I bought it, but I just wanted to save it. And so as we've worked on it, we've tried to save everything we can, and part of the structure that we weren't able to save, we've tried to at least save as much wood and pieces out of it. So.
Now, this part of Creelsboro, well, this part of Russell County, Jamestown, pretty much is the start, wouldn't you say, of Russell County?
Well, this was one of the more active areas before traditional transportation. The boats came up the river carrying freight and then removing freight and hauling it back down. Some of the old barns here were used as warehouses, and this was a real happening place back at that point in time.
It was, and I'm so glad you're saving it. Now, those of you that are watching, you may have come past this old country store on your way to the Rockhouse, the Creelsboro Natural Arch. So I have a feeling you'll have a lot of traffic, definitely. Well, we are right now on the front porch, and let's go inside, and then we'll find out. We know a little bit about the history. Let's find out about plans for the future. All right, we are inside the Creelsboro Country Store. I am with Dr. Perkins. Dr. Perkins, tell us about this portion of the country store.
Okay, originally this side of the store was the living quarters that the Polstons lived in, and they had it was in very bad shape when we got it. So we actually removed this section, saved as much of the pieces that we could, and then we rebuilt just with the same dimensions, so it's virtually a reproduction, and the same size as it was. We tried to keep it all as close to back as original as we could. But we've built this. My son and my brother have done most of the work on it, and we're pretty excited about it.
Well, it looks beautiful. I love the ceiling. I love the lights. Now, everybody that's watching, it's a work in progress, but here's what I wanted to hear. I want to know what your plans are for this portion of the Creelsboro Country Store.
Okay, this is going to be the dining room. We're planning on having tables, sit-down type service. We're planning on having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going to start off just a few days a week and then try to grow from there. But the big thing is we're wanting to use local sourced produce and meats, and we raise some of it ourselves, and then various of the neighbors that raise different things. So as much as we can, we want to have local products.
Well, the farm to table movement is big anyway, and that should be, well, using your local products is always a good idea. So a restaurant in this side, what type of menu? Have you thought about a menu at all?
Well, it's going to be a lot of pork. I raise hogs. So.
Awesome. Well, that's good. That's all right.
we have our own bacon, our own sausage. We have bratwurst, Italian sausages, pork burgers, so those will be the breakfast and lunch meats. And then I'm planning on doing, I do a smoker, and we're planning on having one evening have something like pork shoulder and maybe chicken. One day maybe having pork chops and ribs along with a smoked turkey. And then eventually we want to get into doing some fish as well, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, I love it. I love the menu. I love the idea, and I love that you're saving things. Now, we are not going to give everything away during this interview. We're going to follow Dr. Perkins on his journey and making this a reality. And behind those doors, behind us, is another whole section. And how would you describe that section over there?
That's my joy there. It's the original. I've kept everything just as original as it can be.
Now it's in a process of being finished, but what will that be? And then we'll show you later when he's more finished. But what is that going to be over there?
That will be the actual store,
Okay.
and it will have various things. But one of the prominent things, again, with the same theme, is that locally produced crafts and goods to sell.
All right. Do you have a timeline for when this would, I know you're doing it all yourself, so it's probably slower, but is there any kind of timeline for when it could open?
We're planning to open sometime this spring, probably March or April. We'll start doing some little trial dinners and then work from there.
Well, we will stay in contact with you definitely, and when it's all open and you've started, we'll come back and we'll see the whole thing. Anyway, thank you for being with us with Lake Cumberland Live, and join us again next time.